Okay, so Donald Trump referred to other nations supposedly as shitholes. So let's just take this step by step for a second. One, this was supposedly said at a closed-door meeting. It wasn't said from the pulpit. It wasn't said on national television. Secondly, the people saying that the president said this are your typical, proven to be biased, lying moonbat scumbags. So I take it with a grain of salt. Then the president comes out and denies that he even said it. I think he may have. But then the media start backtracking a little bit on exactly what was said and how. Hey, you seeing a pattern develop here yet? I am. I've seen this with every big gotcha story about Trump, from the Russians having hookers pee on him to collusion, you name it. It's like they're throwing everything they can throw at the wall, and if it sticks, great. If it doesn't, fuck it. We'll just keep lying until something sticks. That's what it seems like. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's what it seems like. Moving on. Is Africa a shithole? Is Haiti a shithole? I think we need to look at some stories that have come out of, let's just take Africa, for example, and then we'll move on to Haiti, shall we? Recently in Africa, in 2017, they had a problem with local militias stopping people who were driving at night and murdering them because they were looking for vampires. Okay. It is a common belief in parts of Africa that if you have sex with a virgin, it will cure your AIDS. It is a common belief in Africa that eating an albino will give you magical powers. The average IQ, and this is average IQ, not everybody. Some people have high IQ, some people have low IQ, but the average IQ in Africa is around 70. Okay? If you shit in the streets in your country, it is by definition a fucking shithole. Okay? Haiti. Is Haiti a shithole? I don't know. Let's have a litmus test for that. Let's see if we can't figure this out, shall we? Are the Haitian people trying to flee Haiti in anything that floats to get away from Haiti? They are? Gee, I wonder why. It's such a lovely place. Not like it's a shithole. The reality is, of course, these countries are shitholes. They're absolute shitholes. They're absolute horrible shitholes, and it breaks my heart that people have to live in them. But they do. Should we be discriminating against people coming from shithole countries? Well, let's add a little context to this. In the 1990s, Ted Kennedy, the Lion of the Senate, the guy who drowned a chicken in the water and then left her there. The Lion of the Senate, he's a liberal lion. He decided that it was a good idea to change the lottery system so that it more ignored European white nations and more focused on shitholes. So since the 90s, we've been expressly giving special treatment to shitholes. So the president asking, why are we giving preferential special treatment to shitholes, is a valid fucking question. Why are we? 46% of homes headed by Haitian immigrants are on welfare. 30% of homes headed by South Asian people, or immigrants, sorry, are on welfare. 10% of Koreans heading homes in the United States are on welfare. Which people should we be maybe looking at a little harder? I mean, it's common sense. Now, if you don't want to judge, if you're really just against judging people by the nation they come from because it's bigoted and xenophobic and sexist and transphobic and whatever phobic you want to throw on it, get rid of the welfare state. Because if you get rid of the welfare state, I have no problem. You can put a fucking escalator in from West Africa. I don't care. Knock yourself out. But the reality is, The reality is the dirty, dark secret that Democrats only whisper about and when they're drinking their brandy and smoking cigars and raping each other is that if you get more people into this country who are prone to welfare, they become addicted to that welfare. And then they vote to keep that welfare. And the best way to vote to keep that welfare is to vote for the assholes pushing the welfare. Who are the assholes pushing welfare constantly? Not the Democrats. No. Because I got news for you. Take Mexico, for example. If Mexicans largely voted conservative, Barack Obama and Joe Biden would be on the border, shooting them as they crossed, personally. That's the reality of the situation. That's it. It's that simple. Now, a friend of mine brought up a good point in a thread I was just reading. If we are just going to look for the skilled labor from all these countries, aren't we doing them a disservice? And the answer is yes, we are. If you go to Rwanda and you take everyone with a skill out of Rwanda and you bring them over here for the quote-unquote better life, I don't know why you would want to bring more black people to the United States considering we just treat them so fucking badly, right? I mean, that's what I'm told. I'm told it's such an oppressive nation. Why would any black people want to be here? It's almost cruel to bring people over here from Africa, you cruel bastards, right? I mean, that's the talking point. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy, right? I don't know. But yeah, you're doing them a disservice because you take all those skilled people out of that country and that country is never going to improve. So what's the answer? Do we take the poor people and throw them on a welfare system to bolster Democrat voters to eventually have a one-party system? Do we take skilled labor out, bring entrepreneurs over? How about this? How about we just realize that we are under no obligation to mass immigrate anybody for any reason whatsoever. I don't care what some stupid fucking poem slapped on the Statue of Liberty in order to raise money for the fucking pedestal says. That is not law. We are under no obligation to immigrate anybody here under any circumstances. We do it out of the kindness of our hearts. And quite frankly, we immigrate more people into this country than almost any other nation on the fucking planet. So spare me the pity parties. Spare me the woe is me's. I don't want to hear it. The reality is, when you really think about it, should we even be doing foreign aid? I like Israel. I'm a pro-Israel guy. Should we be giving them money? Realistically? Fuck no! Fuck no! Do you know why? Because we're $22 trillion in debt, with around $120 trillion of unfunded liabilities. Do the fucking math. Every dollar we spend is a dollar we're taking out of our grandkids' pockets. We're saddling future generations of Americans with debt to give to people who mostly fucking hate us. Why is that? So that we can what? We can look good in the eyes of third world fucking shitholes? I don't care. Don't care. We need to get our own fucking house in order. That's the reality. I say cut back the immigration altogether. Look at it totally case-by-case basis. That's the best way to deal with this. So in closing, yes, Africa is a shithole. Largely, it's a shithole, including South Africa. That's a wicked shithole now. That place has really fallen by the wayside. But you don't hear any of that. You don't hear any about that in the news. I would challenge you to read up on South Africa and what's happening to people down there. It's wonderful. All the celebrities went down there and cried about apartheid, justifiably so, sticking their nose in where it didn't belong, justifiably. But now that the genocide is taking place down there and the murders and the corruption has taken hold, no one really wants to talk about that anymore, kind of like Venezuela. Where's Sean Penn on Venezuela? 10 years ago, Venezuela was the fucking creme de la creme. It was the model socialist society. Now we just kind of put that aside. No, well, Denmark. Well, Denmark's it. That's all I got for today. Yes, there are shitholes. You don't live in one. Count your lucky stars.